Okay, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over trigonometry, where we will be finding the angles of triangles by using only two side lengths. So in this example here, we have our angle in the bottom right, and we have the angle, or the length here, and the length of the base and the length of the height. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to see over here, we have sine theta, cos theta, and tan theta. Sine theta is going to be equal to opposite over hypotenuse, which I'll explain later. The cosine of theta is going to be the adjacent over hypotenuse, and the tan theta is going to be equal to the opposite over adjacent. So what this all means is you're going to start off by looking at your triangle and finding what angle you're looking for. So while doing this, you have to be looking for an angle that's not the 90-degree angle. Now, once you identified what angle you want, what you're going to do is you're going to look at what numbers you have. So we know that we have the height and the base. But that doesn't really mean anything to us when we're using opposite, hypotenuse, and adjacent. So what we're going to do is we're going to label our sides a different way. We're going to draw an arrow straight across from our new angle, and this is going to be our opposite. We know what the hypotenuse is because it's the slanted, so this base must be our adjacent because it is adjacent to our angle. Now we have our opposite and adjacent, and all we have to do is look to see which one it fits. So it can't be sine because it uses hypotenuse, and the same thing with cos, it has hypotenuse. So we know to find this angle right here, we need to be using tan. So we'll set up the equation of tan theta is equal to opposite over adjacent. So our opposite is going to be 5, and our adjacent is 4. Now, this might not seem super easy how to find the angle, but we're going to have theta is equal to the inverse tan of 5 over 4. And if you're looking on a calculator, what you're going to do is you're going to look at your tan button, and you're going to press second function of tan, and that should give you the inverse tan. Then once you have the inverse tan, you're going to multiply it by 5 divided by 4 in brackets to get you 51.34. So we can say that our angle is approximately 51.34 degrees. And I'll put a screenshot up of what your calculator should look like when you're doing this equation. Okay, now we have 2 more examples on the board, but if you're having trouble remembering when to use sine, cosine, or tan, there's a very nice rhyme kind of thing that you can use in order to remember it. So first off, we have SO, which is going to be sine is equal to opposite divided by hypotenuse, CAH, which is CAH, which means cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, and TOA, which means tan is opposite over adjacent. So we have SO CAH TOA. Now, for this example, we're going to do the same steps. We're going to draw an arrow across, so we know we have the opposite, and this isn't going to be our adjacent. This is our adjacent. This is going to be our hypotenuse because it is the slanted side. So we know that we have opposite and hypotenuse. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and look for the one that has opposite and hypotenuse, which we can see here is SO, because it's going to be sine theta right here is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So our opposite is 6, so we're going to have 6 divided by 10. Now, to find the angle, it's the same step. We put theta is equal to the inverse sine of 6 over 10. Now, you just plug that into a calculator to get your final answer, which for this case is going to be approximately 36.87 degrees. Alright, and we have the second example which is going to be the same steps. We're going to draw an arrow across. So we know that we don't have an opposite. We're going to see that our adjacent is going to be 7. And we're going to see that our hypotenuse is 8. Now we're going to look to the side. Since we have no opposite, our TOA and SO are ruled out, and we're left with cosine. Theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is going to be 7 divided by 8. Now to find the angle, it's the same steps. You take the inverse cosine of 7 divided by 8, which, if you plug it into a calculator, will give you approximately 28.96 degrees.